July at the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex as from 2 p.m. And if you are into Maso Classic this year, 100 mutualists will be able to benefit 1 million francs CFA to start at the level of the primary schools, and 30 mutualists will benefit 2 million francs CFA at the level of secondary schools. And if you are into Maso Classic, as we talk about the 22 days to the event, and we are into the 50 week of contribution into the mutual assistance and solidarity Maso. If you are having 100 francs daily contribution at this point in time, you should have a fee 50 times 500 francs. You are supposed to be at 25,000 francs CFA in your contribution, and this will permit you participate in the July Naira food draw ceremony. And on the other hand, if you are into Maso Gold, where the offers range from 1 million francs CFA up to 10 million francs CFA, where you have with 1 million francs CFA, your contribution is 200 francs daily, to have 1,000 francs, to have 52,000 francs by June the 29th, 2023. If you have 2 million for those going in for 2 million francs CFA for secondary school, you have 250 francs daily contribution, 1,250 francs to have 65,000 francs by the end of June the 29th, 2023. There is also possibility for those who are going to university in Cameroon. 5 million francs scholarship has also been put in place for 350 francs daily contribution to have 91,000 francs CFA by June the 29th, 2023. And you equal for this for those who want to study out of the country. There's 10 million francs CFA, where the contribution is 500 francs daily to have 130,000 francs CFA at the end of June the 29th, 2023. So there is still possibility for you as to register into the mutual assistance and solidarity. Within 12 days, you can meet up with the contribution and equally the registration to the mutual assistance and solidarity. Just go to any of the 27 agencies of Renapo Finance SA. We have 13 of them in the capital city here in Yaoundé, or you call our agents who are out there through the following number: 690-202840, 690-202840, or 699-44 2977, 699-442977, or 674-392746, 674-392746, or 695-339503. Those are different numbers. For those who have completed their registration into the mutual assistance and solidarity, we are talking about the pre-identification process. The good that you go into this pre-identification process to have your identification card, so that you can start to benefit from all the advantages of the mutual assistance and solidarity by June the 30th, 2023. So if you have completed, go to any for the 3 selected Maso pools that have been put at the disposal of mutualists for them to be able to carry out this pre-identification process. We have the Maso pool number 1, that is at the Renapo Finance SA headquarters, situated at Monte Ligefa. You go there, you register into it, or you go to the Maso pool head office and Kwaban, some 200 meters from the Green Oil petrol station. You can equally register. Meet us here at the Radio House. Royal FM is situated on the second floor of Immobile Binam, where we talk about Kamel, beside the bus stop to the University of Yaoundé Toussoua. You can equally register into the mutual assistance and solidarity, or you carry out your pre-identification process. When you go into any of these 3 Maso pool, go alongside a photocopy of your identification document, that is, be it your driving license, your ID card, or your passport. Go along equally with a photocopy of your booklet. This will also permit you to show that you have completed your registration. Equally, go along with 2 passport size photographs. You can equally go along with 10 names of members of your family to benefit from the mutual assistance and solidarity health scheme. And if you have any difficulty into registration or in processing your advantages of the mutual assistance and solidarity, just call us. We are going to solve the problem at 693-930231, 693-930231. Those are the numbers that you call us. We are going to solve any problem you are facing when it comes to the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO. Remember that MASO is built on the African spirit of solidarity and assistance. And when you register inquiry to the MASO, the mutual assistance and solidarity MASO, you stand a lot to benefit both from the primary and secondary advantages. All out with MASO, we simply live our African values, and together we try to put life and make sure that all of us we have a fulfilled life full of happiness. At MASO, we simply live our African values. Topics and realities coming to you from Royal 88.4 FM, and we already have some gentlemen who are already with us here in the studio. Let me begin from my far right. Good afternoon to you, Tata Evans.
Good afternoon, Mr. Abel. Good afternoon to listeners of Topics and Realities.
It's a pleasure for me to welcome you.
It's a pleasure to be here again after a while.
You are always in the house. Likewise, Derek. Derek is here with us this afternoon. Good afternoon once again, Derek.
Thank you so much, Abel, for this another opportunity, and greetings to all your listeners.
It's a pleasure for us to be together.
The pleasure is shared.
Yes, thank you so very much. And I also have another gentleman. He's here with us this afternoon. Let me look for his name. It's Lambert Kevin.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Yeah.
I'm pleased to be here. You just hope somebody is listening somewhere, and after the talking, the practical is going to take place. Talking is another issue, and practicing it is another one.
Thank you so very much. The way he talks, you know that he's a journalist. Nobody needs to tell you that he's also part of us.
An IDP journalist, for that fact.
I don't want to go into it because journalists are journalists. We are never IDPs.
Somebody once told me that a good journalist, the journalist is still alive.
Yes, once we are alive. Because let me share you a story. I once went to Nigeria, and when I reached, the person who welcomed me, I went for a seminar. He's a journalist. And the moment we left, we entered into the studio, the guy was already giving me work. So God, you are a journalist.
Yeah,
Do you think that if I come to Cameroon, you invite me to your program, I will say no, I'm not prepared?
No way.
I have to say something. Anyway,
You may be proactive.
So
You may be proactive.
So thank you very much for coming, my brother. With us, we equally have Dr. Nde. I'm right. He's the third Deputy Secretary General of the SDF Party. Good afternoon to you, Doctor.
Good afternoon. Thank you.
Can you give us all the complete name?
Dr. Nda Grimba.
Okay, Nda.
Yes.
Grimba.
Nda Grimba.
Yes. Grimba like that.
Grimba.
Those of us who grow in the Anglo-Saxon culture,
That Grimba means peace, love, and happiness.
Okay.
That's the meaning of that name.
Okay. We are so happy to have you here today at Royal FM.
Thank you too.
At a very difficult moment.
Really difficult moment for the SDF party. It's quite an unfortunate moment for us, given that we are preparing for the national convention.
Yeah.
We've been preparing for it since 2018.
Will it be postponed?
I cannot give you that answer now. We'll be having a NEC meeting, the National Executive Committee meeting on Saturday, Saturday, the 24th. So at the outcome of that meeting, I think the public will be well informed of whether the convention will proceed as planned or not, given the current circumstance the party is going through.
Yeah. No, it's a positive one. Thank you so very much for being with us. With you, we are going to talk about the SDF and equally talk about the International Day for Countering Hate Speech that will be celebrated tomorrow. But we celebrate us today because we have to talk about pertinent issues in the program topics and realities. Let us first of all welcome Christian Mando. She did a press review for us in this edition. Good afternoon to you, Christian Mando.
Good afternoon, ABEL Samari. Greetings to all the guests in the studio and to all the listeners of Topics and Realities. Today, we open our press review with the newspaper of Cham Victor Bama Municipal Update, which took us to the northwest and southwest region of the country where more Amba fighters disarm as UN renew reconstruction support. Still in this region, the newspaper had the information on the tackling of food insecurity, having as headline, U.S. offer 11,000 tons of rice to the northwest and southwest region and far north population. The article could be read on page 5. During this week, we had the Horizon newspaper that treated the topic on the Cameroon Chad oil crisis, having on its front page, Ngongo Mujiki flex muscles. Another article in this newspaper was on the CNPS Cameroon on how a welder was taken care of after a work accident, showing or bringing out the importance of workers affiliating at CNPS. The newspaper, The Horizon, also came back on the Nabeba Bala mining project where Cameroon and Congo are on the verge of hammering out deal. The Guardian Post newspaper on its site during this week informed the public on the amount that France allocated to Cameroon to upgrade its civil status. This newspaper also treated the topic on the fruit of multidimensional sensitization as it had on its front page. 3,520 Amba and Boko Haram fighters surrender, join GGR centers. In more news during this week, we had the death of Ninjon Fungi, national president of the Social Democratic Front Party. Most newspapers treated this sad news as they announced the death of the owner of the slogan, Power to the People. The newspaper Municipal Update and the Guardian Post had as headline, Power returned to God and Frundi quit stage at 82 respectively. We talk economy to say that government restless as clandestine cocoa export to Nigeria stripping state of billion. This was in the Guardian Post newspaper on Thursday, June 15. In more economic news, in this newspaper, the Minfi launches a treasury bonds to raise 150 billion francs CFA. This article could be read on page 8. The newspaper L'Economie also treated this news as it had as headline in the form of question: à quoi vont servir les 150 milliards de francs CFA à collecter? The newspaper Emergence on its side during this week came back on the Savannah Energy affair and the production of petrol in Cameroon that has reduced according to their reports. And on the Savannah Energy affair, it had as headline: Pourquoi Paul Biya a trop pillé Moutiki? They also treated the topic on cocoa, where Cameroon prohibit exportation to Nigeria. In societal news, we have the military men that are in search of the armed robbers that killed one of their colleagues. They react brutally as they destroy goods and beat up the population in Douala. This news was contained in the newspaper Le Popoli that had as headline: Quand les gendarmes imitent les microbes. This is what we got for you in our press reviews today. Have a nice day and stay blessed.
Thank you so very much, Christian Mando. I don't know, Dr. Evans, what caught your attention in the news paper report, apart from the topics we are going to be discussing?
Yeah, one thing that caught my attention is the aspect of affiliating workers to the CNPS. Yeah, because like say, a worker was taken care of because he was affiliated to the CNPS. But it's rather unfortunate today, many companies don't affiliate their workers to the CNPS. So I think this is a call for concern.
Do they know the importance of doing so?
Probably they know the importance, but they don't just want to do it because probably they may think their money is they look at the money to be too much. But I think it's a call for concern. Workers should be affiliated to the CNPS, so in cases like this, the burden will not be that heavy on one person.
Yes, Doctor, I don't know, what caught your attention throughout the week that you think we can share as reported by the papers?
Thank you. Just to add to what he has said, just to give throw more light on it, only about 23% of employees are actually insured at the National Social Insurance Funds by employers. It is appalling. It is very poor. And that is one of the areas in which the SDF has been doing a lot of work. Recently, you can see our party authorities alongside trade unions came together and discuss on issues like this. If you go through the NEC resolutions of the last NEC meeting, you are going to see that we talk so much about it. That is workers' rights, as well as improvement in the working conditions of workers. That is very important. The other thing that caught my attention is the issue of bonds. I lecture in the university and finance particular, and so I'm always well informed and attached to such things. Government is raising, issuing state bonds again to raise 150 billion.
A problem? It's a means to finance government projects.
Good. Why am I raising it here as a problem? Because they cannot account for what they have been doing in the past.
But we have been seeing roads being constructed.
I have
hospitals
been
built.
I have been tracking the raising of finances by government since 2014 to now, and I'm telling you, it is one of those things we call in economics misdirected macroeconomic policies. This money, you'll be shocked to see what in reality it does. It's misdirected macroeconomic policies. Wow. It's actually misplaced macroeconomic policies, because these monies, majority of it is used to pay debt, is used to struggle to build an Olympic sports complex that we don't know when it will be realized, instead of caring for social amenities in the country like energy, which we are still suffering from now. Cameroon needs 7.5 gigawatts of energy to be emergent by 2035. Do you know how many we currently produce? just 1.6 gigawatts, and I ask myself, what are they doing with all these monies? Because if they were effectively using this money, I'm telling you, we'll have been out of that situation. So this is really something.
So it's another avenue for money to be collected where it will not be accounted for.
Yes, it's another avenue for money to be collected that will not be accounted for. Yes, a very serious problem, because they spend their time riding in Prados, giving themselves dressing allowances and so on. This is really appalling.
We got your worry, Doctor Lambert, from the papers.
Yes, I read through the Guardian Post to cite one.
Yeah.
Talking about the DDRs in Bamenda grooming
future footballers.
It's
a good thing.
It's a good thing, but at the same I am not refusing. Okay. At the same time, I don't think their minds have been cancelled up to a level of playing football. And at the same time, those who are doing everything possible for the voices to leave the bushes, they have not presented to us a clear balance sheet of how they are going through. And even if the voices are being pulled out at all costs, we are not seeing the various weapons they are presenting to the public. Don't just come with somebody you claim to be an enemy and say he has retired from being an enemy without presenting the weapon he was using in attacking you. It's very questionable to some of us. I want to think that if the DDR would like, I know it's very technical. They will say it's very technical.
So
after all, nobody wants
the footballers should not be a priority.
It shouldn't be a priority as at now. I wanted that if in any case somebody drop arms, present the person with the arm. Let us confirm that at least you were using the arm to attack people.
But sometimes
things like that. When you want to follow up, they will tell you that the situation is very technical. They wouldn't like to present everything to the public. Well, it's a good thing if in case they groom them and they become very intelligent footballers. We love that. And equally, I also saw Fekafoot Wahala concerning financial scandal, people being sacked for Fekafoot. We expected Fekafoot to do something as at now. I really loved the way Eto took power, but up to the level. I'm having so many questions to ask, but I don't want to judge him for now. He's.
Don't you think that he met a very difficult situation?
He met a difficult situation,
and system,
yes,
finding it very
that is why we are still waiting for him.
And that is one of the problems we are also facing in the country.
Yes,
the system.
It is telling you that the system is well corrupt. The system should be wiped out, and to wipe out, we need God intervention.
Let's support him.
I'm not refusing. Okay. We are supporting him. I, for one, am a fan of it too.
Okay,
but the problem is that there are certain areas where he shouldn't go now. That's my take.
That of sacking people?
Yes.
Who collected money?
Instead of sacking the person, has he evaluated the person?
If at all,
don't just
sack, then it means that it's coming.
Let me tell you that sometimes I'm suspecting that the manipulation comes from somewhere.
Okay.
It was not working alone.
How? It's a system.
Yes, it's
breaking the system.
That's the system. The system is not Eto. Okay. The system is the system of football. Okay. And football is not one person.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you very much, Lambert. I like the issue of football. We'll look for opportunity to talk about Samuel Eto's one day. Look at what he has been able to do at the level of Cameroon football. But it's not easy, Lambert. It's not easy on his side. You know, there's some people claim that they put him there and he has to do what they expect from him. And he too is saying that I am not going to dance according to what you are saying. So it's not easy stuff. We'll have the opportunity maybe to talk more on that issue. Yes, what caught your attention in the papers this week, Derek?
Yeah, I don't want to come back to all what the others have pointed out.
Yeah,
the bond issue, the DDR issue, but another issue that really caught my attention was the brutality of the gendarmes in Douala after the death of one of theirs. You see, it brings back one of the debates, one of the problems we were bringing up here some times ago on your platform, that that army nation, that military, civilo-military relationship, for Cameroon to forge ahead and for us to have a better society, there must be that friendly relationship between the men in uniform and the civilian population. I can remember I made a statement. We were discussing about it was on another platform where we were discussing about increase in kidnappings and killings in Yaoundé and some major towns. And so that idea of that friendly relationship that is supposed to exist between men in uniform, in fact our soldiers, and civilians, is gradually dying and going away. Meanwhile, Cameroon has a national defense system, which means all of us are supposed to defend the territorial integrity of the country, be it civilian or military. But now when we get to that situation where a civilian does not want to go closer to a military, neither does a military sees a civilian as someone you can go closer to, that fighting that always comes among military men and civilians, it really shows there is a serious problem, because there are certain investigations that the police, the gendarme, the military cannot go through them successfully without help from the civilian population. And there is no way a civilian will live successfully without help from the military. We both need each other. And by so doing, when incidents like this occur, it's really kind of very pathetic, and we really pray something should be done to remedy this kind of relationship we are having with the forces of law and order, so that we have a kind of harmonious relationship between the military, or the men in uniform like we call them, and the civilian population. So somehow that was what really like it kind of caught my attention, based on the different subject matters that were presented. If I would not want to repeat what others have already said.
Okay. Thank you so very much. We got your worry, and that is why somebody once says that they want to put Cameroon in a way that the fear of the military should begin to be the beginning of security, but that should not be the same. And I remember very well we had that program that for Cameroon to develop, the military need to be in close relationship with them. And we equally have Mr. Gilles Raymond Foulais of the CPDM party. He's here with us this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you very much for your kind invitation once again. You know, I wasn't here due to, how can
issues
I say,
that we
series
know.
of the death
Accept
I
our
had in my
condolences.
family, my father, my mother, my mother-in-law, my neighbors, and so on and so forth. So I'm very glad to be here once again. Thank you very much. I'm a militant of the ruling party, the CPDM. I want to greet all the militants, the sympathizers, the followers, the allies of this party, but mainly and especially our national president, who is also the head of state of this country, His Excellency Mr. Paul Biya.
He's a good man. Thank you so very much. Now, let's also move to our open this afternoon. I want us to talk about
I wanted to say a few words concerning what I heard a while ago, Abel. Last week, there was a sad incident who occurred in one of the quarters, you know. They call it Ekunu. I don't know what was, since there is 2 inquiries who are going on. I don't know what exactly was the problem, what matter exactly. But it seems that a military man, he has a relationship with one of the girls there.
Military again?
Yes, at the neighborhood of the Ekunu Grammar School.
The government high school, Ekunu.
Yes, Ekunu. I don't know whether it's a kind of discussion, a kind of misunderstanding. The family of that girl, when the military came in the night, they started by saying that a chief man. Eben, you can guess by yourself. When you in the night, you call a man a chief man. And this military man passed away.
Where?
After, how can I say, all of the brutality he received. When I'm hearing a kind of lessons of morals coming from my neighbors, he don't know what are the pains
the military
man, the gendarmes, the policemen are facing daily, everywhere in this country. the respect.
But does that give them the reason to be so brutal to the population?
First of all,
in this case, the population was brutal to the military man.
Please, first of all, we are human beings.
Okay.
You have to teach to the population, how to respect the state, how to respect the institution, how to respect the institutionalists.
Okay.
You don't need to, to kill a gendarme. When I was very young, when we used to meet either a policeman, a gendarme I saw there, we were running away.
Okay.
No, because they were a kind of devils, but we need to respect the institution.
Okay.
To respect the state. But nowadays, you see how these men and women are treated by the population. We cannot encourage such attitude.
We got you.
This is a clear message.
We got you.
Those who will continue to to maltreat, those who continue to talk at, those who continue to kill our policemen.
I remember the Minister of Territorial Administration said, if you dare, the law will come after you. Those who are daring it, they shall await the government's wrath on them. We got you very much, Mr. Thank you so much.
I don't
Mr.
want
Fuller.
to tell you
what will happen to them. But we already know what will happen to them. They will face the arm of the law.
Even when we are talking now, the population of Ekunu, they are facing the hell now. They are seeing the real hell now. You cannot kill a military man like that and hoping that you will go quietly and sleep and oversleep.
No sleep for
never.
Them. No sleep for them.
Never.
We got you.
The state will follow you till the end of the earth.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fuller.
Thank you very much.
They will never have peace. If you dare a military officer, the government will come after you.
The military officer should equally know that policemen and other. Even civilians,
they are there to protect the population and their property.
And also they need the respect and the consideration of the population.
It is reciprocal.
This is not a
military man is not an original human being.
You don't need
He's not sent from heaven. Take note. They are there to protect the population and their property.
Please,
I'm not shouting.
You don't need to shout. I want to tell you that.
See, it's not like I'm supporting that. I'm
this
supporting
is
what the
not
population
a
did.
kind of.
But we should take note.
Can we come back?
We should take note that they are there to protect the population and their property.
Thank you very much, Kevin.
This is
that is not what we are discussing. That was just the introduction and coming from what the paper said. We know it is a state. Nobody can even dare fight or go against the laws of the country. What we need is that synergy between the population and the military. There should be no excesses on any
mutual respect.
Any sides, there should not be any excess. We need that fair. All of us, we are human beings. Apart from the uniform, you come back to the quarter. Yes. All of us, we do have, at the end of the day, we have a family, we have a place to, or a society to belong to. Mr. Fuller. Yes. Be it a military person, be it a civilian, that synergy must exist.
Days back, the governor went to a pharmacy to have the drugs.
The governor?
Yes, the governor of this region, a central region. Yes, he went there to buy a drugs, and two chief men came here and asked the governor to go on the knees.
Yeah,
please, governor. My mommy, you are joking. This is a state. A whole governor, go on your knees.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Thank you very much. This is a state.
We got you, Mr. Fuller. I should tell you also the governor that there is insecurity
in Yaoundé,
and let him do something.
That was really bad.
And let him do something.
Really bad.
Prince, good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to the.
It has been a while.
It has really been a while.
I thought you are also joining the other Cameroonians that are going to Mexico. I never knew that you are still in this country. Thank you for coming.
Why? I've been receiving invitations from you, but due to one unforeseen circumstances, I've been unable to be here. Yeah. But it's an honor for me to be here today, especially when we're talking about very important things, especially the life of the chairman who just left us some days ago.
Yes, but also there is something you have engaged in. I'm so proud of what you are doing, working with the young people. What is it all about?
Of course, as young people, it's often said that you should not ask what your country has done for you, but what you can do for your country. So that is what has
somebody said that statement was in American society does not fit the Cameroon context.
No, Cameroon is also a country on this planet Earth, and there is nothing different from America or Cameroon, but the difference is just at the level of the mindset.
So we can still use that statement in Cameroon.
Of course, why
not? Let me ask what I've done for Cameroon, not what Cameroon have done for me.
Of course, why? Because we have to make a distinction between the state and the civil society. You understand? Because when I enter here, I want to salute all the panelists on panel today. I had Dr. Jules Fula talking some minutes ago.
Yes, he's somebody that you know very well.
Of course, we made
also have
panels,
Dr. Grimba.
Of course, Dr. Grimba
is of the SDS.
Of course, it's a very fine panel.
Lambert
is
also
a very fine panel this
We have
afternoon,
another young upcoming doctor. Derek is also here.
It's a nice thing. Myself, one of them, a researcher.
Thank you very much.
You know, you talked about my engagement with youth over this period of time.
Yeah.
Because we seek to build Cameroon, and we don't want to look at whether you're from what ethnic background, you're from what political background. But what is important at this point in time is Cameroon. And Cameroon, being a Cameroonian, it's a very laudable initiative in order to build young Cameroonians. That is why we've been working together in partnership with the local youth corner. We've been doing a lot. I remember I told you we just left from the South region when we were doing the campaign, environmental campaign, and today we are back in Yaoundé to do the Nawiwi Jamboree, which is also an initiative to foster young people and watch the solidarity living together.
We'll talk about that. Thank you so very much. Thank you for honoring us. But let us move straight away and discuss something. I want us to talk about the issue of hate speech, because tomorrow is the international day. When I say tomorrow, I mean the 18th of June 2023. It's always celebrated as the International Day of Countering Hate Speech around the world. All of us, we know the impact and danger of this phenomenon we call hate speech in Cameroon. How threat is it to our unity and development in this country? Derek, is hate speech a danger to the unity progress in Cameroon? If at all, yes, in what way?
It can only be a yes, Abel. Hate for sure. Just from the use of the word hate.
Yeah.
You automatically know it's something that is very, very dangerous to social cohesion.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to our national unity. It's dangerous to who we are as individuals before even talking about Cameroon, because of the ramifications and the consequences that come around with the usage of hate speech.
Yeah.
Be it the visible consequences or the invisible consequences. Be it consequences at an individual level or consequences from a global standpoint. If I take just some few, from an individual standpoint, from the very moment there is a usage of hate speech on you, it is but certain that certain consequences might befall you. It might lead the individual into some sort of low self-esteem. It might lead the individual into some sort of depression. We have emotional disorder and trauma that accompanies the usage of hate speech on an individual. Imagine you building a society based on individuals that are having low self-esteem. It becomes very difficult to break through. From a global level, in fact, from a societal level, I'm not the one that will have to tell Cameroonians the dangers of hate speech when it comes to creating tensions that can lead to conflict in the society. When it comes to pushing the society from a standpoint of instability, from wherein you come across a situation in which people can no longer dialogue with each other, people no longer respect each other's point of view or diversity because of the usage of hate speech. Economically, we see the consequences of hate speech. They are there. Socially, politically, in all the different aspects of society that you want to look at, you will discover that it is a very dangerous cankerworm or a very dangerous scourge that must be dealt with. I don't want to go into telling you the economic loss that a country incurs each and every time the country engages into hate speech.
There's economic loss.
Of course. There is a lot of economic.
So if Mr. Fula tell me that you this Mwaman,
we don't need you in Yaoundé. And then Mwaman has 50 billion in his account and was thinking of like a kind of investing in Yaoundé to employ people. What happens? Then Mwaman leaves the money in his account because he knows he's going to invest in an environment where he is not needed. And economist, doctor is here, he can best tell us money can only serve society when it is in circulation. So when we hear the usage of things like rentrez chez vous, je rentre chez moi, that is a question we begin to ask ourselves, because those things they start, and you know, even the psychological consequences of hate speech is alarming. It puts the society in a situation of Stockholm that becomes very difficult to handle. I just want to end all of this by simply making us understand the simple fact that if you want to see what hate speech can do, refer yourself to Rwanda. Then you will tell me if you understand the consequences or not. Maybe I still steal the floor. You just talked about the 18th of June that is coming up as the day for the celebration in fact, the International Day for the fight against hate speech. It's a day that has been put in place, and many Cameroonians do not really know this day. You are not strange to defy hate now. It's something that is very dear to us, and we call on all Cameroonians to not only defy hate, but defy hate now, and do not only do that on a particular day, which is the 18th of June. We need to do that 360 days. In each and every second of our life, we need to do that. That is why we have a concept in our house known as the Peace Jam, which calls on people to come together and jam for peace. Do the little you can do to ensure that you bring peace and you not promote hate, like we are doing now at Hotel de Ville.
I will come to you. I will come to you, Prince. But let me find out from Mr. Fuller first. From the politicians, Dr. is one and Mr. Fuller is, before coming to you people. They say hate speech is the new weapons politicians in Cameroon are using against their various opponents. How true is that statement, Mr. Fuller?
Unfortunately, you know, first of all, we belong to one country. All of us, we are Cameroonian.
Yeah.
You know, my father was a military officer, so I grew.
I saw the attachment.
I grew all over the country.
Yeah.
I went in Bamenda, Boya, Beto, and so on and so forth. So I have a national culture.
Right. But are politicians using hate speech as a weapon?
I am hating too.
Okay.
So I wanted to say that even the responsibility the responsibility are share. There's a share of responsibility.
Yeah.
Responsibility be concerning the government and the other institution, the population, and so on and so forth. But even though I am a CPDM militant, I want to blame first of all the government. You know, to govern is a matter of proactivity.
Okay.
To anticipate. You know, ABEL in a French-speaking program, school program, we used to have three lessons. First of all, the civism. I'm translating.
Citizenship.
I am not a translator.
Yes, citizenship. We are understanding you. We don't have problem with you, Mr. Fuller.
You used to have even the lesson concerning how to cross the road, how to interpret
traffic
the sign and the traffic jam and so on and so forth.
But short citizenship.
But till up to date, these very capital classes, very capital nations are no more. So we paved the way to this kind of how can I say this kind, yes, on civism and so on and so forth. And even nowadays, unfortunately, if there's a problem in moi, the first reaction from the government and the institution is to ask from citizens, elite from moi, to go there and solve the problem, verify and solve the problem. But decades back, we used to have this kind of, how can I say, to take care of the nation before the region, before your village.
Yeah.
Let me take one example. If there was one problem in the Far North region, there were guys coming from the Southwest to go there to discover, to talk with the citizen there. I don't, how can I say, to realize that even though I am coming from Moi, even for Manfred and Kumba, so on and so forth, first of all, I belong to one country. So, according to me, the main responsibility is the responsibility of the government. So, it's now time to correct the mistake concerning the headset. You know, how can I say, there is this kind of equilibrism. They call it a rational equilibrism. Equilibrism in terms of exam. You must have 10 guys from the Northwest, 10 other guys from the Southwest. Why? Why for? It's a matter of excellency. It's a matter of merit. And in other matter, when you receive a promotion, a Muaman, the first obligation
is to go back, come and give Thanksgiving.
Yeah, first of all, and then you go back to the village and organize a huge piece there to say that this is our time.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
This is our time.
This is our time for the more people to eat.
More people.
Thank you.
This institution. So it's time now, according to me,
to put an end to all those things.
Not to put that, to correct
those mistakes. Yes.
And to deal more in the field of proactivity.
Thank you.
Anticipate.
Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Doctor, let me find out from you. You are equally a politician. Is it a weapon of mass destruction that you are using today against your opponent? And that is why we have the rampant spread of hate speech.
It's undoubtedly a weapon of mass destruction used by politicians. But I'm happy my colleague from the CPDM party has said he will start by blaming the government, even though he's a militant of the CPDM party. That's true, because the government has done very little or nothing to fight against hate speech.
But we saw the Minister of Territorial Administration the other day.
That is what I wanted to talk about. It's not the first time he's been hard on the issue. The problem is that these ministers use propaganda.
Okay.
They use propaganda to manipulate the minds of the people. In the mental energy of citizens, there is the fight against hate speech. In reality, there's nothing. There's nothing in reality in the fight against it. Do you know what it means for the President of the National Assembly to call 2 regions 2 cubes of sugar inside a cup of tea? Do you know what that means? It is very dangerous.
Basin of water.
In a basin of water. Thank you, my brother. Do you know, just to come back, the consequences of hate speech? I begin with the Jewish Holocaust. Adolf Hitler's policy of exterminating the Jews is as a result, yes, of hate speech. If you know what happened to Slovakia, that is now 2 countries, Czech and Slovakia, it is as a result of hate speech. Hundreds of thousands of dead. And he cited the case of Rwanda, the Hutus and the Tutsis. It's as a result of hate speech. And many of the unfortunate events we have experienced in our own country in recent times is as a result of result of hate speech. You can see recently what happened in the South. That was the second time this thing was happening as a result of hate speech. Why do politicians use hate speech? They use hate speech because, unfortunately, it is an effective tool in divide and rule. It is very effective. You cannot imagine the power of hate speech. Let me just give you an example. I take the case of Enam. I was happy when he cited some of the Mr. Fuller, when he cited some of these examples. You see, as he was saying, the Nordists will say no, c'est notre tour. You have all types of lists. I studied in the University of Boya, and when that strike happened in 2005, we were one of those. 2005 and then 2007 again. I was among them. Do you know what happened? Out of 127 people that passed, out of a total of more than 800 that wrote the competitive entrance examination, 78 of 127 that passed was only from the Northwest. That is why we had the problem of admission into the medical school in the University of Boya. And when the minister saw the list and the others, just as he said, they started talking of equilibrium regional. That's regional equilibrium. We regional balance. We cannot allow people only from one region to be. But what about the problem of meritocracy?
Good.
It is unfortunate that because of hate speech, I'm sorry to say it, but I have to say that's the truth. So many butchers leave queues in the name of doctors. I am telling you, I'm in academics and I know what goes on there. It is horrible. I'm telling you, it is something we have to deal with head on. Otherwise, it is going to destroy the social harmony of this country.
Yes. Prince, let me come before I move to Kevin. How peaceful Cameroonians looking at what is happening in the country in terms of hate speech?
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a very good question. And if I have to be honest with you, I'll tell you that, and the million listeners out there, I'll tell you that Cameroon is a very blessed and peaceful country, but with one or two squabbles in the name of politics, politicians, in the name of unemployment, mass unemployment, with the name of environmental degradation, hate speech has emerged. What is hate speech? Hate speech is been defined, if I want to paraphrase, as any word or sentence that is being put to degrade a human being or make that person feel less important where or in respect of the position where the person finds himself. So if you see me, I am somebody with a very white skin, and you say, oh, you're white skin, and your statement is intended to make me feel down because I'm a white skin person.
Some people will say, no, it's Mukala.
No, that is it.
Instead of saying
that is hate speech. And now, how has this hate speech been able to take Cameroon to where it is today? Hate speech has been used in several domains. Wherefore, I will cite you the political domains. Before I came, I was born in the early 90s, very early 90s.
And my parents,
my parents told me, and I read from books that hate speech was a very instrumental element during the 1992 presidential elections. And I lived and followed the political atmosphere of Cameroon. I saw hate speech at the center of the 2018 presidential election in Cameroon. Some people will tell you it had their reason, but these things were done for political motives. Come to level of social motives. Now, I was a victim before now. I think on this your same
you have
panel,
been a victim.
Yes, I was
of hate speech.
On this your same panel and other sister panels, I've been able to mention that. Wherefore, I boarded a car when I was still a student in University of Yaoundé to Soa, a bus, and going to Soa, and I don't know, maybe it's due to frustration or one or two things from the bus conductor, and he told me, hey, move ici, les anglophones comme vous regardez les PD. You see, he did not have that mindset to insult me because he wanted to insult, but he wanted to express his frustration
against a group of people.
Against a group of people, and you see how hate speech manifested in that level. Now, Cameroon has been moving in the sense where hate speech has been seen. Hate speech has been seen as a very disastrous factor. That is why the President of the Republic, President Paul Biya, had to take upon himself to create a commission in charge of fighting against this hate speech. That's why he created the commission of bilingualism and multiculturalism.
Are they working?
And he did not.
How many people have been brought to book?
He did not only create that commission, but he had to link that commission to the presidency of the republic. There are very few ministries or commissions that are linked to the presidency of the republic.
Yeah, we have like the anti-corruption commission.
Yes, of course.
The corruption is still ongoing.
This means that
we have the bilingualism commission.
Striking in such a way that it was one to be taken very serious. And remember, the person who was put in the head of that commission is a former prime minister, which means somebody who understands the territorial integrity of the country. But it doesn't end at that level. The question we need to ask ourselves is that commission, because that commission is a legit and the organ that has the jurisdiction to fight this problem, is that commission actually working to what it wants to be worked for? So at this level, I saw last week the National Commission for Bilingualism and Multiculturalism actually organized or celebrated or brought out and showed to the public some civil society organizations that they have actually engaged with them to fight for hate speech. That is why I have a bone of contention, Mr. Ebert.
Yes.
Are these civil society organizations that are being chosen rightfully civil society organizations represent the interests of the people? Are these civil society organizations?
I know only one of such organizations that have been doing all the defy hate now.
Of course, there have been
I don't know whether some people are doing.
When we go to the nooks and crannies, we realize that most of these civil society organizations were being caught up are window dressing solutions that have been put in place. So if the government has to stand for, if this commission has to stand for, they have to go to the grassroots, meet the people. They need to start from bottom top approaches rather than top bottom approaches.
Thank you very much, Thank you so very much, Kevin. I want to ask a very funny question. Have you ever been a victim of hate speech? What is the role our early class are playing?
Yes, I'm from some people say we don't know how to pronounce. Is that not hate speech? Who cares? Is that not hate speech? Let them go ahead and say anything what to say. And
they want to roast the elites because we discovered that even the early class that will count on them.
I started this program by saying that talking is another thing and practicing it is another.
Brother,
we are so used
let's
to
make a distinction between intent. There's always that aspect of.
We are so used to.
Okay,
we are so used. Hate speech is hate speech.
Yes, hate speech is hate speech.
Yes, we are so used to.
Hate speech is hate speech.
We are so. I want to differ a bit with Prince. The intent must not necessarily be there because.
Abel, can I talk?
Okay, thank you.
People engage in this.
Can I talk?
I just wanted to.
Can I talk?
Gentlemen.
Hate speech.
There can be hate speech for
hate
humor.
speech. Let me
No,
say
no,
something
it's
here.
hate speech.
No, it's not humor. It's not funny.
Abel, you cannot allow this.
Let's be very
There are something we say expensive jokes. There are expensive jokes. When a joke becomes so expensive, it is very dangerous.
A joke is a joke.
You can say what you want to
When
say.
expensive,
a joke is not a joke.
A joke is not a joke. When a joke is an expensive joke, you can bring in your philosophy, your whatever, and put in and coin it the way you want to coin it. Let me tell you, hate speech, it's hate speech. You like it, you accept or not. Let me say something.
Yes.
I'm a businessman here in Yaoundé.
Yeah.
It looks so funny when somebody comes to the bakery, you want to buy bread, and you want to explain the various prices in crack French that you know.
Yeah, they're struggling French. They will turn and insult.
I don't know. Me connaissez-vous? How do they say it? Tu me connais? Si tu ne parles pas bien en français, je n'achète plus. What does that mean? Is that not hate speech? Should you force me? He himself. Wait, please don't interrupt me.
Wait. Let him go.
The person trying to prove that you don't know French is not even making any attempt to say anything in English. You are trying to present your crack French, your pro French that you can.
Yeah, so that communication should flow.
And
because
the person
you realize
doesn't care.
that, yeah.
And on the other hand, you get into a store, you want to buy. Somebody say, you need to pay the PS. He turns his back and is focusing on something else. Is that not the way of practicing hate speech?
No, that's not hate speech.
Yeah, you can say it the way you want to say it.
Yes,
but let me tell you that hate speech.
Hate speech. We are going to go.
Forget about your etymologies and whatever you are bringing in. Let me tell you.
We are on air.
People have so many ways of belittling you.
Maybe we allow Prince to define hate speech. Wait, to bring us back to the definition of hate speech.
If I myself,
we dissect that.
I have the UN definition of hate speech.
And that is what I'm writing towards. So the UN definition.
Kevin, go ahead. I'm the moderator. I'm the one giving. I'm the one to order those to talk here.
When Cameroonians think that they are more Cameroonians than others in anything they do. Yes. Anything you want to do, somebody belittles you in a way of presenting it or whatever.
Yes.
That is hate speech.
Okay.
If you think that maybe you want to read from so many books, you want to come on air and present yourself as blah blah blah, let me tell you, the little daughter you have in the house, the neighbors you are living with, if you cannot handle your waste very well, that's a way of practicing hate speech.
Good.
Daddy
has not talked. I want to find out. I'm coming to you.
Abel.
No, I still have 5 minutes on this matter because I have my main topic.
It should be the main topic.
No,
we should not. We need to dissect this and bring it down.
Yes, we are going to. Even if it will take us 3 days, we'll do that.
Exactly.
Don't bother. So, but first of all, let me get.
No, because I'm boiling.
No, I'll pour water on you.
Okay.
You calm down. I'm the moderator here.
Thank God we have Dr. Fula is there in the house.
Yes, Fula is there. Fula is not a problem. It's not a threat. He's a very good man. Look at, he's very calm. Even the listeners know that. Evans, let me find out from you. The same question I asked to Kevin is the same question I'm going to ask to you. Have you ever been a victim of hate speech?
Yes, I've been a victim of hate speech.
Okay, share your experience with us.
Yeah, this happened around 2017, somewhere around Mimboman.
Yeah.
One of my brothers was insulted by a Frenchman, les anglophones là tout Mokole dessert, something like that.
I'm sure the French.
Yeah, and
the Frenchman.
Yeah, so sorry. I'm saying that. No, I said a Frenchman.
Yeah.
I just said a francophone. Seriously, I said a Frenchman so you understand. He speaks French, and he's a Frenchman.
He can be an English. No, he can be an Anglophone who speaks French.
Who speaks French?
I understand you. Go ahead.
And seriously, we almost got him beaten.
Yes.
We almost got him beaten for using that word. Seriously, we were angry.
Wow.
Because that was an insult to us.
Okay.
But because of one thing or the other, so we have some of our elder brothers who intervened and peace had to reign.
Okay.
So before I go, I want to say something.
Yes.
I want to counter what Prince said.
No, it's not a counter stuff. We're not for people to be. This is an educative program. It's not that type of. Debate.
I don't want to. Yes.
That is why you see we have people of various. Give your own point.
Okay, so
when you counter him, you want to counter him. Very soon you become an issue of the two of you. No, that's not what we want in the platform. Go ahead. You will talk. You will talk, Prince. I know you are eager. You and Derek. That's why I'm holding you people. Yes. Give your point.
Okay, so what I want to say is, a joke or not a joke, when it concerns hate is hate.
Okay.
You see, there's this guy Will Smith. I watched a video where he slapped a comedian on stage because that comedian, in the name of making jokes, said some very horrible words about his wife.
That affects his family.
And he was slapped on stage.
Family be dragged into mud.
So I want to say, even when you are joking, you should mind your word.
Okay.
Because people will interpret what you are saying differently. Exactly. In your mind, you might be joking, but the person receiving it might not take it as a joke. Okay. So we should be very careful. And then talking about hate, thank God Mr. Derek is here, and we have been talking. I want to think one of the things we could talk about, what is the way forward, because putting blames and whatsoever will not really take us.
You are giving the way forward already.
Yeah, so I'm just like Mr.
That is why you say expensive jokes should not exist.
Yes, expensive jokes should not exist.
But you wanted me to ask the question, what's the way forward? Okay, what is the way forward?
Expensive jokes should not exist, and we should defy hate now, not tomorrow. And then we are
defying it now.
Yes, we are defying it already. So I just want again to also say something where we were talking, like Mr. Fola was blaming the system. I want to think that at some point we should celebrate milestones. Okay. And I want to say the government is doing its best through the Ministry of Youth Affairs, because like the Ministry of Youth Affairs just recruited 1,000 volunteers who are going to be trained to fight against hate speech.
Thank you very much.
I think this is a milestone we need to celebrate.
Exactly. A good initiative, eh? Exactly. So, yes, even those of us in the media, we are also fighting against it. Yeah. That is why I'm holding the mind of the hand of Prince. Yes. So when we go when we read the message of Antonio Guterres, he says that hate speech is used to stroke fear and division, often for political gain, and at immense cost to community and society. Now, let us calm now. Yeah. We have listened to the panels. They have talked. Everybody has shared his experience. Some said it's expensive joke. Some people say no. It is there is nothing like expensive. If they are asked to differentiate, so that when we move in the society, if somebody comes and says something to you, you should not react because as you got from my brother, they wanted to beat this Frenchman.
Okay, Mr. Abel, look, I'm not saying this to degrade any person on the panel.
I'm still coming.
We are on a scientific
I'm not asking you the question. I'm not asking you the question. You already want to provide the answer. I'm not asking the question. Yes. How can we identify that this is a hate? And it was intentional. Voila.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that we're on a scientific platform, and it's when we want to talk, let's be very frank, because we have million listeners out there.
Yeah, give us the education. Platform. Yeah.
If we go by the definition given by Antonio Guterres of the hate speech, it talks about the use. The hate speech is used to stroke fear and division. Yes. It's used. What do we get from there? The intent. Why did that person use it? For those who did law, even elementary basics law, we understand that in every crime that you commit, there's always a known as the actus reus and the mens rea. The actus reus is the material act of it, and the mens rea is the intent. And what actually condemns that person is the mens rea.
When you people bring those your doctoral terms, the topics and reality, please.
You know when people go around.
We have to buy and sell them. The intoros and the extoros, we don't know that.
There are people who have verbal diarrhea.
Wait.
Let me just push something. No. Can I continue?
Let me just push. Do you agree with me that? Do you agree with me that there are certain crimes in which at times it is very difficult to pick out the mens rea?
Yes, of course.
But it still remains a crime. It still remains a crime, right? No. Listen, answer.
You say it's very difficult, but not impossible.
Okay.
Of course,
not impossible. Let's be scientific.
Our take back message. Thank you.
That is why.
Thank all of us. We are coming out.
Yes, Mr. Ebel. Let me just conclude.
Yes,
let me conclude. In this
in this statement of hate speech,
some
I would like
person is also Cameroon is poison.
Or maybe I put the question another way.
My brother Jude,
Can they penalize somebody if there is no mens rea in the element?
Gentlemen, I'm the one asking question here.
Let's invite an expert in that domain.
We are going to.
Who is here with us?
We are going to
who
do
has
that.
been working in the field,
gentlemen,
in the states of hate speech and other of those aspects.
No,
because at times when we are on panels, he's just here ready with us.
I have a control sheet.
Yes, of course. Because most of the times.
Do you know that I have a control sheet?
Of course.
Okay. You came in, I gave you a chair. Do you ask yourself why I gave you that chair? Because your name is found in the control book.
Of course.
The expert name is not there. We can still do that next Saturday. We are developing. We are educating Cameroonians. The day is going to be celebrated tomorrow. We still have another week to observe. This is what we call in debate a teaser. Gentlemen, it's a teaser. Now I've known you people's mindset. But let me tell you something. I have also been a victim of that issue of hate speech. And mine landed the person a very good slap.
Know that it's not just the Anglophones who are victims of hate speech.
Everybody. I do not say because everybody.
Victims of hate
Nobody has said. We talk as Cameroonians. We have not talked. We should not. No, it is not in my platform that they distinguish that somebody is. There is that. It is not here. We are talking as Cameroonians. Mr. Fula have shared his experience as a Cameroonian.
Nobody is refuting the fact.
We are not going to defend that.
Nobody is refuting the fact.
Okay, yes, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you so much.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you so much thank you for finally giving me the floor.
Go ahead.
Please.
You should not leave here and say that.
Please, let's get this clear. Please, let's get this clear.
You have 2 more minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, I want to first of all make Prince to understand that first there is no universally accepted definition of what hate speech is all about.
Yes, what is the universal definition?
And then from there, I want to make him to understand that if there is any definition we might want to go with now, it should be the UN definition, and this is what it says.
Yes.
Hate speech has been defined by the United States as any communication in speech. The United Nations. Any communication in speech, in writing, or behavior that attacks or use pejorative and discriminatory language with respect to someone's let me just now say background. That definition does not tell us whether it was a joke or not. Any communication. Listen, it's my time to talk, please. It has been said any communication. Wait. Listen, please.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No, you cannot allow. You cannot do this to me. You know the things are allowed to be here. You know the things are allowed to be here. We cannot allow Cameroonians consume what we say.
Gentlemen,
there is no justification for hate. Because at times it becomes we cannot be going to want to say this person was doing it out of a joke, this person was not doing it out of a joke. In philosophy, there is what we call the substratum. The substratum remains. Once it is hateful, it is hateful.
That is
whether it is a joke or not, whether it is intentional or not.
The substratum is not something which is absolute.
Okay.
If you have to understand that, I was taught by Professor Aletum Tabowa of blessed memory. I will still want to be very frank with you. The subtraction is
should we say if you people, the experts and the
intentional or not, when it is hateful,
if you the experts and the intellectual can agree
we might argue on the
definition.
Context. That's why there's no universal definition, though.
Yes, and
in the first place, and we can argue on the context.
Yes,
but intention, I disagree.
Okay,
whether it is a joke or not,
it's hate speech. We take that.
We take that. You know where it eventually comes from.
Please, no.
When it is hateful, it is hateful.
It is okay. We move to the next. If anything, we'll carry it forward next week. This one has ended for today like this. It is anything, any discussion on hate speech, we'll carry it forward for next week. Thank you very much for your understanding, please. I know you are a gentleman. Let's move to the second topic. We want to talk about the life and achievement of Ni John Fundi.
And there will also be hate speech in it.
There will be no hate speech.
Why not?
There will be no hate speech. If there's hate speech, we will identify the hate speech.
Of course.
I will sanction the person. We'll start the celebration and the sanction today. I'll move to you, Doctor. You are the 3rd Deputy Secretary General of the Social Democratic Front, the SDF party. And you people, as we put it in our own normal way, will not get die. Tell us, who was Ni John Fundi? To you as a person, to the party.
Yes, it will take me tons of writings,
summarize it,
and speeches to describe the personality of Nijon Fundi of blessed memory. But summatively, that is a political and emblematic icon that has done a lot for the freedom of Cameroonians. Why we are enjoying press freedom today is partly because of this man. In 1990, up to when the one-party system existed, nobody had the courage to stand against the one-party system. But this man, out of 11 founding fathers of the SDF, was the only one that had the courage. Remember, even the first vice president of the Federal Republic of Cameroon, that is John Gufoncha, even advised him that, look, I see a lot of tension, I see a lot of danger ahead. Please postpone the launching of the SDF party. And you know what? Nijon Fundi told him that I slept, and in my heart, in my conscience, before God and before man, the only answer I had from above was to go ahead and launch a party despite the odds. He did that. Unfortunately, 6 people died, which we call martyrs today. So Nijon Fundi is that emblematic and charismatic grassroots leader who decided to brace the odds and pave the way for multipartism in Cameroon, because multipartism is greatly attributed to him. And then secondly, humility and love for people than love for power. In 1992, it is undisputable, Fundi won the elections. He was under house arrest. He was kept under conditions that he could not revindicate or fight for his victory. And this is what happened. He had support that if he had decided, you see, to call Cameroonians to go to the street, they would have done it. Contrary to today. Yes, I will remember him for that. I remember one of my first discussions with him was that, look at you, a young man. If I did not go, because when I met him, I say, why did you not go? If you went, you see, all the debts that we are now facing, it would not have happened. All the socio-economic problems we are facing in this country would not have been there. He looked at me, he allowed me, I spoke for a long time. I said, look, young man, if I had not preferred life over power, you would not have been alive today.
Okay.
So take note of that.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fuller, we are talking about a great politician.
Well,
and you are also a politician. How do you look at this man called Nijon Fundi? I'm the one asking question.
First of all, I want to, how can I say, have a minute of silence.
Okay.
For the passing away of this great man. I am praying God that may his soul repose in perfect peace.
Amen.
Amen.
We were in 2 different political parties, but we recognize that he did a lot for our country. And the head of state expresses his condolences through a letter to the family and to the big family of the Social Democratic Front. And we are days ahead. We have an official ceremony concerning the burial of the chairman, Nijon Fundi. It's also the time now able to have a kind of proposal. In other countries, you have a kind of pantheon. This is a French word. This is a big house where they used to gather all those fought.
Pantheon.
A kind of pantheon. This is for our country. We have Chief Mukete. We have, for instance, Nijon Fundi.
Yeah.
You have.
So you are saying that the government should create like a museum where we have all the pictures of these people.
For those who fought. But I cannot go like that without no sharing the point of view of my brother of the CPDM.
In 1992?
No, he has never win the election.
No, he won.
Please,
he won.
Please.
Go ahead, Mr. Fuller.
I was listening to you very...
Yeah, go ahead. He never won the election.
Very politely.
Okay.
Due to three mistakes, three big mistakes.
Okay.
The first one was that he gave the instruction to his followers not to inscribe.
Not to register.
To register in the electoral list.
Okay. In 1992.
1992.
Okay.
Please.
Give us your point.
And then the second big mistake is the fact that there was in June a legislative elections. You know, in our country, Abel, the parliament, how can I say, the National Assembly it was at that time the second institution. You don't have one parliamentarian who will vote your law. Nobody. At that level, you have the CPGM who are leading, and then the NUDP. Nobody will be there to, how can I say, to vote for the election coming from a president. And to worsen the situation, there could have been a kind of, how can I say, a cohabitation between a head of state and then the government coming from the CPGM. A kind of bad cohabitation. And the biggest mistake of the choice, according to me, I can mistake, I am a human being.
Yes.
The biggest mistake is the choice of the director, the campaign director.
Okay.
You want to, yes. You want to know
campaign manager.
You want to know the name of this campaign manager?
Yes.
Professor Maurice Kamto.
Okay. You know, was the campaign manager?
Of course.
Was he a member of the SDF?
I don't know. I don't want. You know.
Has he ever been a member of the SDF? Okay,
please.
Let me come. No, 1 minute.
No,
let me, Mr. Fuller, let me pause you.
The choice of the campaign director is not. It's not a matter of the political party.
Okay.
You can choose anyone you like.
Okay.
Either it belongs to the party or not.
Okay.
So the campaign director manager is a free choice coming from the ruler.
Okay.
So, and now talk about the multi-partism. This another mistake is the real. Okay, the author of the democracy, the author is the head of state. Please. Let me learn, please. Yes. Let me learn. You don't know the history of this country.
Yes.
There was.
I'm coming to you.
No, the facts are there.
Come on. Go on, Mr.
There was one political party. The UNC, the National Communal Union,
yes.
NCU, yes. And the incumbent head of state was the first vice president. So he asked for the primaries.
Yes, let's take this caller. He has been insisting. Hello, he's a listener's radio gentleman. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. ABEL Samari.
The patriarch Thomas Masok.
You forget Maréchal, hein?
Okay, le maréchal, patriarche Thomas Masok.
ABEL Samari.
Oui.
Je vous souhaite à vous tous un bon après-midi dans la grande maison royale aux couleurs célestes.
Merci.
Je n'oublie pas que de saluer mon beau-frère Mfoula, que je vais titiller tout à l'heure.
Ok.
Les téléauditeurs, de même que ceux qui interviennent depuis l'entame de cette belle émission.
Merci.
Mr. ABEL Samari.
Yes.
Le parti SDF a perdu de sa mobilité il y a quelques jours, suite au décès du charismatique patriarche bâtisseur Bafroundi. Bafroundi nous a fait émerveiller dans l'ancien temps, à nous faire vivre l'espoir en ébranlant le parti État qu'est le RDPC où milite mon beau-frère Foula. Malheureusement, avec le temps, le nouveau temps, le parti RDPC, avec son code électoral verrouillé, le trafic d'influence, les tripatouillages, beaucoup d'argent dans ce parti, ont organisé une relation luciférienne à freiner la démocratie. Et cette même organisation, ils l'ont mis en exergue en fragmentant certains partillons de l'opposition d'antan. comme l'UDC dans le fonctionnement des relations conjugales, le SIF dans le fonctionnement des relations incestueuses financières et matérielles avec le RDPC, de même que l'UPC dans le fonctionnement des relations financières et matérielles, a tué une fois de plus le Mpodol ou Miobé. Je n'oublierai pas.
Okay.
Ils ont aussi mis le MRC dans un fonctionnement des relations.
Merci beaucoup, Klopatiach.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup, Mr. Fuller.
Thank you very much. So I was trying.
You are rounding up.
Yes, I want to explain the fact that he was the first national vice president of the National Communal Union. So he asked for a primaries in June 1983. That's why there was this attempt of assassination after a military coup d'etat.
Okay.
And then after, within his own party, when
which party is that?
The National Communal Union. Okay. When this party moved from the CPGM in Bamenda, in March, March 24, the first instruction from the national president was the internal primaries. We heard that we go to like that till the Congress of the CPGM in 1980 here in Yaoundé, and then he said that CPGM that let's prepare for a how can I say a national concurrence. CPGM let's prepare for a national congress. At this time you saw a counter march here organized by some of the dignitaries of this regime who said that no, we don't like, how can I say, the multipartism. We want to go to continue with the one-party system. Okay. The real author of the multipartism, the real author of the democracy in this country is the head of state of this country. He started by his own party.
That is your
opinion.
Then
he continued. I'm giving fact. He started by his own party in 1983. 1983.
Okay.
Then he continued to at the level of the nation. So I want to say that we have lost a great personality.
Okay.
But we are very sad. See, this man was a patriot. Okay. The man who overliked this country. We also the main regret of concerning the CPGM is the fact that we have a secession threat. He overliked to say and oversaid that we can solve this problem within our country.
You are running now, Mr. Fuller.
We can solve the problem by the federalism.
Okay.
But first of all, we are communal. That's why he was kidnapped twice by these terrorist secessionists.
Yeah, ABEL Samari, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John Niba.
Yeah, this is John Niba. I sent a voice following the hate speech topic that was not listened. Now I want to...
No, we saw the writing. We are still to write on it.
Okay, good. I want to greet your panel, and then I want to ask... a question to Mr. Fuller. I will beg he should answer. He's saying that President Pobia should be remembered as the one who brought multipartism. And he's saying that it was some maybe militants of the ruling party who were protesting that they did not want multipartism. I want to ask him to tell us whether those militants were more powerful than the party to control them. And the second thing was that he just heard that the day SDF was launched in Bamenda, 6 people were killed. I want to find out from him whether those militants were those who sent the military people who killed the 6 people in Bamenda. Were those militants now the commander-in-chief of the armed forces? Those are proof to show that President Paul Biya was not d'accord with multipartism.
Thank you.
And we know that in those days we had the father of Ali Bongo, that's Omar Bongo, who said multipartism could not be implemented in Gabon, and the Cameroon president copied the same thing. That is why many people were killed in Bamenda on the day SDF braved the odds to launch another party in 1990.
Thank you, John Niba.
And Mr. Fuller, who is a teacher, should know better, should not come and say things. Even President Pobia knows that he does not take credit for bringing multipartism in Cameroon. It was forced down his throat.
Thank you, John Niba. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, Mr. Fuller. No. Mr. Fuller, there is no short answer. You had your time. There is no short answer. It is not a ping-pong game here. Let me read your message rapidly, Mr. John Niba, because we receive it. Good afternoon to you, Abel. If those condemning hate speech were serious, they would have named and shamed some of these perpetrators. For instance, a traditional ruler in the southwest region who openly manifests hate speech in social media without attracting any condemnation from these people condemning his speech. That was the message we sent, Mr. John Niba. There is no ping pong here. Kevin, let me move to you, Kevin. Struggling to catch control. You know about the SDF so much.
Yes.
Why in Kumbu you had the opportunity at some time to work with the chairman.
Yes.
The SDF party. Can it be a strong party after Nijon Fundi?
The country has lost a giant.
Okay.
And it is very funny that for those who would like to talk as much as possible, they want to think that when they call you a giant, you look at the mirror, you don't see the giant in you. You see yourself. Nijon Fundi has been an icon that will never be forgotten. He is gone. Remember, he's a father. He's a grandfather. He's a father to all. I'm not a politician, but let me tell you that my father has once been a politician. My father was a staunch SDF militant of Jakiri constituency. And when I heard that, when I got the news about the death of the chairman, I was very, very disturbed at the same time. But looking critically into what the party wranglings that we know already, I pray that it is time for SDF to make peace. It is time for SDF to prove that this man did something by bringing in SDF to contest with the main ruling party, that's the CPDM. So in effect, I am pleading to SDF militants, if they are wise enough, the cock will no more crow, but the day must break. Yes. Take note, the infighting in SDF is time to stop. It is time to stop, because if you are fighting with your sister and of a sudden you carry a stone and on trying to hit on your sister's head and it passes through and get to your mother, that is dangerous.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't want to say that it is because of the pressure that, no. You know, when somebody is above 70
yes,
or 71 years, according to those who read the Bible very well, they say it is over time. Yeah. Pa is 82. We didn't like him to die now, because he promised that he was going to do everything possible for this crisis to come to an end. And he has suffered. He has been kidnapped. He has been, in fact,
has been burned down.
Everything has been done to him. So I'm asking myself, why the sudden death? But he's not a sudden death anyway. But I'm talking because he's a human being. Nobody wish any other another death. But I'm pleading that the SDF should take a cue from where Pa left in Kolfulu to present. We are praying for a state barrier, because he's an icon that what he do. I don't want to be like I am a party. He deserves more than a state barrier.
What did he do?
Yes. He has done so many things, because SDF came in to open our eyes, to say that at least somebody can say one and you say, please, can you calm down yourself and think it very well whether it is true. I don't want to say to talk like a politician, but I'm pleading that SDF should come together now and be as one.
Should Nijon be given a state barrier?
It's a big yes. He should be given a state barrier.
Yeah, what did he do? There is a state barrier.
Being one of the most leading opposition leader in Cameroon,
yes,
I think he deserves more than a state barrier, if that could be the term I will use.
Yeah.
Then secondly, I will say if we must remember Nijon for one thing, he is a father of multipartyism in Cameroon and democracy. So just for doing that, he deserves a state barrier.
Exactly.
And I want to say again, you know, like we started by saying, it's a very difficult moment for the SDF, losing two of their big weeks at the same time. You know, Honorable Awudu passed on a week after Nijon Fundi followed. So it should be a very big moment. And I want to say, for the continuation of the SDF, now, they all say to know the strength of a people, hold their leader. Okay. Now that the leader is not there, we are going to see what becomes of the SDF. But like Mr. Kevin said, the infighting should stop, because a war divided against itself cannot stand.
Thank you. A war divided against itself cannot stand. And I come to you people, the scientists. You are a political scientist, sir. and Chris is also a political scientist. But we don't want to go to that system that this country is point of sense, because inviting you people here is for you people to give us what the people doesn't know. There is this confusion that we have, Derek. In your research, in your political scientist world, who can be attributed the notion of bringing democracy, of opening multipartism in Cameroon?
Why are you bringing such kind of very complicated and difficult question to a question?
As a scientist,
because we have the experts who are here, and that is why in the control sheet, we had the journalists, we had the SDF. I will come out with you people, the scientists.
You see, it's a very difficult one to pull through.
Yeah.
And I'll put some reasons across to us.
Okay.
If you go by David Easton's black box, you will discover that we must have inputs on everything, and that input could have been maybe the population crying for multipartism. We can attribute it to them.
Okay.
It could be late John Funzi breaching all the odds to want to ensure that multipartism becomes effective in Cameroon. We might want to attribute it to him. It could be the international community that was putting a lot of pressure on the regime by that time. We want to attribute multipartism to them.
To abandon the single party
The systemic approach of David Easton also tells us that we have the black box. Nijon Fundi might have did all he did to bring multipartism, and those who own the black box stand their ground and say there will be no multipartism. Here you see me trying to reflect towards President Biya. When he finally acceded to what many might say pressure and said, okay, we are going to multipartism. There are those who might want to say he is the reason why we have multipartism, because had it been he insistently refused, we have dictatorships in the world. Maybe Cameroon would have never been a democracy, despite the fact that Nijon Fundi wants to bring democracy. So the output from that black box is that we finally had democracy. And we finally had democracy and multipartism. And I think my answer to that will be that I prefer to go with the standpoint of our political elites in their numbers in those days. If I should pin it on two persons, Nijon Fundi and President Paul Biya brought democracy and multipartism to Cameroon.
Nijon Fundi and President Paul Biya.
Nijon Fundi was the input, and President Biya was the black box.
The black box.
Political scientist.
Yes.
And the output that came out from there was that we had multipartism.
Prince, over to you.
Thank you very much, the future mayor of Fungwa Council, Lord Mayor ABEL Samari. Yeah, the future Lord Mayor. Of course, you know, we're talking about Republican things like this, and we want to be very frank on this. I used to call him Do John Fundi. If you're from the southwest, from the northwest region, the grass field.
Not Ni, but this time Do.
Do. I call him Do. People call him Ni.
Ni is different.
I supposed to call him Do, like a grandfather. Not a grandfather in the sense of the grandfather, but a grandfather of a lot of things that we're talking about today. And today we're talking about a honorable somebody who needs beyond a state barrier, not because he's a supernatural being, but if we have to go by the political train of Cameroon, from 1960 to 1972, we had a whole lot of political changes, which people barely find some freedom of speech. There was some sort of multipartism and the like, but the freedom of speech is very low. From 1972 to 1990, we had a one-party system, which was ruling Cameroon. And freedom of speech, and our parents and the books we read were very honest to us to tell us that in the regime of Aijo, later on President Paul Biya, before 1990, you could not talk freely. Even in your own sitting room, you could not even express yourself. We will also have to understand that Nijon Fundi was a member of the CPGM. And due to one or two quabbles that they had during the elections.
I think this should be the last caller. Hello.
Yes.
You have just 1 minute.
Hello?
Who is this?
Hello?
Yes, hello.
Yeah, I will be very snappy. This is John Liba coming back.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I want to say here that Frundi deserves a state barrier just for one thing, at least the courage that he knows. Exactly. That type of courage has never been seen in Cameroon. In 1990, nobody could dare President Paul Biya and his regime. And so Frundi did that. That is why I think he deserves a state barrier. But I will land by regretting the fact that
40 seconds already.
At one moment, this is the People's Radio ever. At one moment, that deviated from the very foundation of the SDF and started working for selfish interests with some people that he gathered around him.
The time is up. Thank you.
From there.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you, John Niba.
Please, Abel, let me land. This is the People's Radio. It is not.
But the people should be in the studio, not out of the studio.
Yes, to use 1 minute would not kill. You are the one disturbing. I would have landed.
Land.
I'm saying that we regret the fact that he died allowing SDF in shackles. He has sent away all the people who acted like a conscience, always telling him that you are deviating. And he has now allowed SDF that is empty. I think the next person who is coming, who is not supposed to be Joshua Oshie because he's not the right person, should gather the party together and let it work for what the party was created for. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you for the pressure you are putting on us.
John Niba.
Thank you.
And,
rapidly. We don't have time. I have to go back to Doctor. There's a series of questions Doctor needs to answer for me.
But the choice of the neck of the SDF. So John Niba, thank you for that. So to continue from there, and like I was saying, when we got to the 1990, when Nijon Fundi got frustrated from the elections in Bamenda of CPGM, he decided that no, so far don't finish, so far get for finish, and he decided to create the SDF. While creating the SDF, we had a lot of Anglophone elites and other people, which I want to cite Dr. Charles Anyangwe, which and the other prominent Cameroonians who were supposed to sign the registration of the outcomes so that they could register the Social Democratic Front, and most of them shy away because of their position that they had with the political with the ruling party at that time. But he took the courage at a time just to take that courage. That's what I'm saying. And he took the courage at that time and took up himself and said, no, I will take and as a chairman of this company, and they legalized. On the day of the launch of this SDF, so many people could not believe, but he went out despite 6 people that were being killed, 4 students and 2 other. We have a businessman and another one, which they went out at the launch. After which he was given a house arrest, and when he came back, you remember in 1992 he went in for the presidential
elections. You might box someone. Let me hold your hand. There's a lot of emotion.
36% of the vote. Some people will argue that he won the elections. Well, the official register said the President Paul Biya was Dr. Jules Fuller. I said some people said that he won the election, but I would say the official record said that he had 36% of the vote.
Yes.
And Bello Muba Maigari was a third.
Yes.
And he made a mistake.
40%.
And they say he made a mistake in June. He didn't go in for the parliamentary elections, and that's where the blunder began. In 1997, he went in for the presidential.
What is the way forward of the SDF now? Tell me. All this is history. Let's go back to reality. How do you expect the SDF to exist after the death of?
As time went on, the need of Fundi that the people understood and the people knew the power to the people. So far, don't finish. From 2007 and 2008 with the crisis in Douala where the people marched and some people were killed, he took a different stand. From 2007 he asked to see the president of the republic, President Paul Biya. At that time, some people understood that maybe his strengths were already changing. In 2011 presidential election, we realized that from 36% in 1992, it went to 16%. And we saw that with all these, his position began to change.
What does it
in 2018?
Please, can I just ask the answer? Yes, I'm understanding.
And we should try to understand.
Yes, let me ask.
I have the impression that we are overboiling time on historicity and all. This time is already.
You don't have the monopoly. We don't have the monopoly. We are talking about a great man who had no, when you were talking, I didn't cut you off.
No, I'm simply saying they should add us time.
Yes, they will add time
because there is a lot to talk about.
They will add time to the program. They will add time to the program.
You have already asked me what I remember about Nijon Fundi.
I will ask you. We'll still continue. He has not yet been ready.
I met Nijon Fundi.
Gentlemen, listen. I am the moderator here.
Cameroonians don't know that the SDF itself is hate speech.
Okay. What does the constitution of the SDF say concerning this issue of hate speech? This issue of the death of Nijon Fundi, the way forward of the party. What does the constitution of the SDF says?
Good. it has happened at a time. It's a coincidence. It has happened at a time when we are organizing the national convention.
Okay.
Now, according to the constitution, we have an ordinary national convention which comes up one time in 5 years.
Yeah.
But the constitution also gives provision for an extraordinary convention during presidential elections in cases like this, the death of the national chairman, when it is not yet time for the ordinary convention. But in this case, the death of the chairman coincides with the period of the national convention, and so the new chairman of the party can only emerge in the national convention.
There is a convention that will name the successor.
Yes, the convention that will name the successor of Nijon Fundi.
Create another time to talk about the SDF, maybe in the next few days or so.
Exactly.
Thank you so very much.
That is what we need. You know, been looking at time.
It was a pleasure being here.
Create us more opportunity.
Time is always on our side, but it's not on our side anyway. But I will be happy if I am back again to
we have to be back. Yeah. Jude, I decided to keep you for the last because I know next Saturday we are together. You cannot come to this program without going.
Yes.
Who is Nijon to you? One word. Because I'm running up.
Well, Nijon is someone that defined the political space in Cameroon.
Okay.
That's just Nijon.
Saturday we are together. Okay. Are you assuring the public?
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much, Doctor. Derek, thank you.
Thank you, Abel.
Somebody wrote to me, another person who is boiling. Someone
you have not allowed me to get to 100%. 100 degrees. Well, is it 100 degrees?
We'll get more opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Fuller. Thank you very much, Evans. Thank you so very much. Jean-Marie Anaba is here with me, and up next, John Niba says that Abel, you have it hot. We program this topic. We'll do that. We'll discuss it with management, and we'll look for another opportunity. There's still time. Nijon has not been buried, so we have another avenue to talk about. I know.
I've not said anything.
You will say
something. You will say something. Thank you so very much, John Niba. What should we be expecting in the program top Barometric Politics?
Good afternoon, Abel.
Good afternoon.